Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. This is Solid 4x4 and I'm one of the co-owners. Today we're going to be installing and assembling Toyota 4Runner 5th generation bumper with the winch and couple recovery ears to have recovery point if you travel alone or you travel in a group or you in a remote location where nobody can help you. So basically I'm gonna show how it's done and how it's gonna look, and you can order this from us through the Instagram. And our website doesn't work yet because we don't have enough product yet, but soon, this is our first bumper. This one's going to States. We have 2 of them made. So basically now we're gonna show you how to remove this bumper cover to cut those pieces. If you have on your 4Runner this cover right here, I just removed it before, but if you have it already installed, all you have to do is just to take a Sharpie or a white marker and just trace a line right here along this cover, right? And just stop right here. Just come closer, please, Nikolai. Just stop right here. You can just trace it right here and stop at this corner, and then stop at this corner right here. And then once you remove it, you can see that we will be not cutting in that right corner, but right here. We already traced the mark right here. So we'll measure right now how many inches is that. So right now, if you see right here from this line where you're going to be cutting to this edge, around 50 millimeters on the center point. Okay, so 50 millimeters here, and you should have around 1/4 inch left from that bumper side, right? So you're gonna be cutting this along right to the very end until you be done right here. Same on this side. We'll be cutting, we trace it right here and just follow this along this groove. Don't worry, because our bumper accommodates that this whole cut will be covered, so you won't be worried about it. But if in case you want it smooth it out, you can put that rubber sealing around and this plastic edge and just clean it. You can use any tools, but we're gonna use grinder with zip cut basically, and be cutting that line. This dimension we chose because right here is the fittings just to keep this grill cover on, right? So if you cut any further, you have extra like 5-6 mils, but just in case we basically, we'll measure right now, went around 1 inch from this edge to the line, so basically 25 mils, 25.4 to be exact. Don't forget about safety. You can use safety glasses, of course gloves, and make sure you have guard on your grinder if you use a grinder. So anyway, you'll be cutting this right here and we'll see how it's gonna turn out, okay? Don't worry if you will be cutting on the vehicle. There's nothing interrupting you right here, so you're free to go. Just make sure you follow these guidelines. Grinder, that tool that you can just, if you use it correctly, you can nicely cut it out. You don't need to go through right away. You can just core it first and then cut it. Just make sure you don't go right on the line, maybe. No, it worked out not bad, right? You clean it a little bit. Don't go too much because it takes the shiny effect from your bumper. Okay, and we'll take flapper disc and just clean it up, and I'll see you after it's clean. Okay guys, so right here, don't forget to remove this cover. You simply press this and remove these. There will be a couple of them here. I already lost some of them. So just remove this cover, you will install it later on. The camera right here, you have to lift. This one's a little bit different. You just lift and take it out, this one right here. So then remove this one, all of these that's holding this grill piece together. That should be it. After this, remove this 10 millimeter right here. There will be 3 10 millimeter bolts right here on each side. After you've done that, make sure you have enough cable to run for your heater right here, because when you remove the bumper so you don't disconnect, you're just gonna remove it, just unwind this around 5 feet, 4 feet, you should be okay. After you've done this, don't forget to take this plastic skid plate that's gonna be right here. This will be basically garbage, you won't need that ever. So it will be some plastic screws and some bolts. So remove that, you can throw that in the garbage. You have this open once you cut it. Now we're gonna take the bumper off. So basically you come here and you gently take this. Once you remove this 10mm bolt, you gently pull this right here, then on this side, and just take, nicely bump off. Make sure to disconnect those 2 fog lights right there. There's numerous videos how to take this bumper off, so just watch that and you will be fine. So once you remove that, this is the slack I was talking about, just for the heater line, so you don't disconnect. So once you have this, I already marked lines right here. On the left side, on the passenger side, you have to follow this line right here. And then once you go all the way like 1/3 of this curve, just go straight in. I'm gonna measure, it's around 4 inches here, and also the same here. You go up, follow this contour, and then straight up, you will see this edge right here, the first edge. There's first one, there's second one, this edge. You have to cut this off. Now we're gonna cut it off. Okay guys, so here I'm gonna make a quick measurement so you can see from bottom of this plastic down, it's around 3.5 inches. So once you come up here, go this curve, 3.5 inches down, okay? You can see it. And on this side, we go around 4.25, not to the foam, but to the plastic. 4.25, just to be safe, okay? These pieces can stay in, so don't worry about that. Now we're gonna cut it, okay? So, safety first, have at least gloves, should have gloves too, but that's okay. Make sure there's nothing behind, okay? So you don't cut any lines. It would be nice to have a Dremel, of course, but you can go like this. So as you see, I don't go full RPM because it starts melting. So we don't want to do that. Just nice cut. And then only this piece left. You can just bend over back this. You can just break this and then just clean it up. It doesn't have to repeat exactly this curve, it's fine. We want to keep this piece because it sits right here in the bumper, in the frame, so this is kind of for rigidity, right? And then just clean it up a little bit. Have to be pretty, that's probably one of the last times you're gonna see that anyway, until you buy the bigger, badass bumper. So right here again, we're checking, make sure there's nothing that we can penetrate through. Sure there's nothing, follow this line. And right here guys, cut this little notch right here, just make it flush right here. That should be sufficient to install your new bumper. Okay, you can clean this nicely there with hands, don't cut your hands, you should have gloves, not like me. Right here, so make sure you put 10mm bolt here and you should be okay, safe. But either way, you can just grab this and nicely bring it up and press on it. and it will click right here as well. So this, it's already can sit. You can just keep working and finish this later if you want. So we're just gonna throw this just one bolt, and we're gonna continue installation of our bumper. Yes, we also need to trim this piece a little bit, because when you're installing first piece, it's kind of interfere, because we have a couple degrees of freedom. So basically we can move bumper up, down, left to right, and in and out. So this is basically main feature. So we're just gonna trim this like this, okay? And also we're gonna be trimming right here, just a little piece, because there's gonna be a bolt here. If you're in off-road, you do body chops pretty often, so it's not a first thing for you. And at the end of the day, just the plastic, so. It doesn't affect your 4Runner. So if you see, I chopped it right here, and I chopped it piece right here. You see right here? Bring it closer, please. Right here, if you see, I chopped it right this, and I chopped it here. Went a little bit too far, but that's okay. And also we gotta trim here a little bit as well. Right here, I'm gonna trim this all the way in. Let's see how it's gonna work. Yeah, and we also have the same problem here. The bolt gonna be sticking out right here, so we're gonna be cutting right here a little piece. That way you will be completely fine, and you will be able to adjust your bumper to get desired gap, so it doesn't rub on your plastic. So same thing here, we're just gonna go straight in. You don't need to go crazy, just a little bit. Okay, clean this. It's not a big deal. And now, so then you can access this bolt. These bolts, some people think, oh, you don't need that, but trust me, when your bumper is welded and not perfectly welded, or distortion pulls it, you need to move it, you need to adjust it to set it level and square. So this is like very important feature. Make sure follow this. You don't need to go crazy, but this is enough. Just like 1 inch here, because the bolt gonna be sticking out here. You want a bolt sticking out here and not on this side, because if you put on other side, it might interfere with these bolts in the back.
Классно.
Yeah. So basically, guys, we're putting these brackets here. It already has not welded on the back. So we're just reusing factory 14mm bolts. Sorry, not 14mm, 14mm size, but it's probably M10, M12 bolts. So basically, just throw it in loose for now. Don't tighten yet for the final fit. Just put it in. I'd say half threads all the way in. It will just make your life easier if you do it by hand. And then same on the other side right here, we're putting this bracket. If you're putting this bracket, wrong bracket on the wrong side, it won't fit. So basically, make sure you're putting it right. On the passenger side, you see this little notch right here, and there's straight angle 90 right here. So that means this goes on the right, and they look at each other. Okay guys, so now we're gonna install the main shelf. So basically lift it like this. Those two brackets that we installed, they go inside. You just have to lift it, put your hand through right here. Throw one bolt in and put your knee against it. It's easier if you do with 2 people, to be honest. But the second person is holding the camera, so put one in, take another one, с этой стороны зайди. Take second bolt and put your hand through this hole right here, side of the shell. Put it like this. I'm not gonna put washers for now. This is just to hold it so I can take a breather. After you throw a couple in, now you can put this bracket a little bit snug like this, line it up, and then lift the whole thing up. You will have lots of play right here. That's how it should go. Okay? So guys, once you install the winch, just put it, tight it down and everything. So that's gonna be ready. Then this shell cover, we already have opening for the winch line, opening covered, and we have little brackets here for LED light. This one specifically made to accommodate rigid light, but the next versions we have adjustable. We will have play around 1/2 inch, 1 inch, so you can adjust, put any kind of lights, which is 30 inch. So basically slide this in, imagine there's lights already in. Slide this in a slot. Put a couple bolts in, which we're gonna supply them. There's one. You will have to put the light in first. Leave it here, then put the cover on. And then after cover installed and all these holes filled, after this, you can install the light back. Basically, we'll just take the light and install it and tie it right here. Okay, last thing guys is a skid plate. This skid plate is your approaching angle for the future armor, and also approaching angle to cover and create rigidity for the winch. So don't drive without, don't use winch without it. This is made just for that purpose. Made from 316 steel. And basically these notches goes up. You are touching this, and there's already nuts already tacked. So all you have to do, just put this M8 bolts in, and you will be good to go. You just put it right here and all the way here as well. Just gonna put a couple. These bolts, don't put anything here, there's nothing there. This is for the future armor. That's gonna create for the engine compartment skid right here. We're gonna be using it later, so there's nothing goes on the bottom row. Just everything else, just fill in and you will be okay and good to go. So this is basically how this bumper looks, guys. And this one's going to States already. This one been sold out. We got a demonstration on it. So basically this is a slim version bumper for Toyota 4Runner with 30-inch LED light bar. So that's how it looks. Skid plate, starting one for the future armor from our brand. Everything looks rigid and good to go for off-road and going places. So thanks a lot for attention, and message us on Instagram if you want the same bumper. Thanks again for attention, and I'll see you later. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe to the channel. Have a good one. Later.